Hello and welcome to Perry Pencil. To all newcomers, subscribe now and be alerted whenever I upload a new video.
Hello everyone, this is Perry Pencil back at it again to teach you how to draw a jack-o'-lantern monster. But before I get started, I just wanted to thank you for stopping by. For those of you who have supported me from the beginning, welcome back. Those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Oh, and before I forget, I want to address the cover changes. If you've noticed, the covers used to be full color. From now on, the covers will showcase my pencils more, along with a full graphic colored background. Now let's begin. The first thing I want to do is start off, as I always do, by dividing the page in half, and you should do the same also. Okay, so you want to just take a light line and draw from the top and the bottom of the page. It's so good to be back. I'm excited. It's been a while since I've done a step-by-step tutorial, and can't wait to see what it comes out, or how it comes out rather. And so we're doing jack-o'-lantern, and I chose this because I want to try and have something simple. I don't want to overcomplicate things, but when I do my tutorials, I really intend to teach you all how to draw instead of intimidating you in any way. And I'm not trying to say it's not going to come out cool or anything like that. I'm going to do my best. All right, so I have this divided in half, and what I want to do for my jack-o'-lantern is come down just a little bit before my border that I've set up for myself. And you might not be able to see the lines that well. It's only because I don't want to have to erase later. And all of these lines will be here at the end. And I'll pretty much clean it up for the cover once the cover is completed, because it's going to be, you know, all pencil instead of graphic, like I mentioned prior to this video. All right, so I want his head, let's say, to come to about here. And you don't have to worry about human proportions, if you will. I'm going to use my index and my thumb, and you can do likewise, and just slide that over. And what I'm doing here is, of course, it's very technical, but it will help you be a little bit more structured as an artist. So if you notice I have my dot there, I can just bring that line down like this. And this is roughly about how big I want his head to be. Just to let you know, for information purposes, is that this is a landscape drawing, so the sheet would be this way instead of horizontal, not a vertical. It would be a full body if you're drawing a full body character on there, but today we're doing a bust high drawing. Okay, so let me move along, and I'm going to go ahead on and put an oval shape in here. And I kind of want jack-o'-lantern, you're looking from underneath, like almost like you're looking underneath and he's looking down on you. I want to make it interesting, a little bit more dynamic instead of straightforward. So it may be a little bit challenging to some and maybe not so much to others. So I'm going to put the eye line here. And notice I put the line like further up instead of in the middle, because if I was doing him looking straight forward, it'd be like right here. So I don't want that. So his eyes are going to be higher on his head. And I'm going to put a temple line. Although he's not a regular human, I'm still going to put a temple line here, so where I want the side of the pumpkin to, you know, pretty much end from where the front meets the side. All right, and for his nose, I'm going to come right here, which is going to be right beneath his eyes, and I want to leave enough room for his mouth, which is going to be all down here. So let's put that there. So again, you got the eyes, the nose, the mouth line. Now, you always, on any figure, want to put, I like to put an oval. You want to put an oval shape here. This is for the neck. Whether you want the neck, the width of the neck, it just gives you an oval placement for where the neck is going to be. Then move on ahead here, because he's not a natural human. We don't have to worry about measuring the torso and all of that. So we just want to go in here and just draw like a oval this way. And of course, the rest of his body's going to go off the page. All right. After that, right through the middle of the oval, and this is more like, if you want to call it geometric, or just kind of dividing things in half. It's very simple. You can eyeball it with your eye. You notice I've done this whole drawing so far without any rulers, and that's what I want you to learn to do. Okay, so let's go ahead on over here. And because his head is oversized, I like his head to be disproportionate to his body, just for dramatic sakes. I just want a huge jack-o'-lantern head. We're gonna go ahead and put an oval here for his shoulder and do the same thing for this side. And right now what we're doing is we're doing some mechanical drawing, dropping in circles and shapes and stuff like that. If you do this step by step, I promise you'll learn how to do it. Excuse that sound in the background. Sometimes you'll have interruptions as you notice, but don't let that stop this video, right? Okay, so once I've got these two lines, to help you get it proportionate, you can just draw a line straight here to here. When you do this, it just helps you to equalize placement on both sides, and put a circle here and here. And I want him to kind of have like a triumphant look, so I want his forearms to kind of be like this and like this. Almost like kind of like almost go for like Skeletor from He-Man. For those of you who may know that character, it's almost like he's always laughing, like he kind of like he's triumphant. He's evil, but he's also clever, and you know, he has that kind of laugh going on. So you want to go ahead on and just put some cylinders here. All right, so when you look at the shapes that I'm doing, just pretty much practice is what gets you here. And I'm more interested in teaching you how to draw as opposed to just drawing and you don't know how I did these shapes. I don't like freehand drawing and then you trying to follow me and you have no clue how I did what I did. But I'm showing you step by step what I'm doing with these cylinders and shapes. And you can feel free to always ask me questions in the comment section if you're confused about any of this. I don't have no problem with, you know, giving you information in the comment section about whatever it is that you may need. Now, I'm gonna stop it here and here. We're gonna measure that, put that line right here. Now we draw a line straight across. You can use your pencil as well to kind of see if they match up. Notice if I slide it right there, we're just right on point. Even if it's slightly lower, don't kill yourself. I don't. Some things aren't always going to be perfectly symmetrical. Now with his hands, I'm gonna just put some lines here because his hands are like tree branches. I kind of want to go with the earthly kind of feeling because he's a pumpkin, and you want to go ahead on and put that in. So I'm almost done the structuring, and then I'll be able to get right ahead to where the drawing is going to be, starting to get detail. For those of you who may be a little impatient, you're like, oh man, you know, this is taking too long. I haven't seen any features on his face yet. You're supposed to put the body in first. So if you want to speed up, that's fine with me. And you want to go past, you can feel free to do what you want here on Perry Pencil. I don't get upset if someone doesn't watch the full video and all of that. It's whatever you want to do, whatever you get from the video, it means a lot. And I just appreciate you being here with me today. All right, so the thumb, just to let you know, the thumb is always going to go on the outside of his palms are up. You know, you would just a little notation for yourself, you know, in case you have trouble with which side the thumb should be on. You don't want his fingers and hands to look backwards, like he has like some kind of defect or something, like it's not quite right. But here you can go a little crazy with the fingers and all of that because he's not a human being once again. And just put this here just for later on. Let that go off the page. What I pretty much did was off this oval, just let these two lines go off the page. Are you ready to have some fun? I know I am. All right, the structure is done. I'm gonna have you take a look at it for a second or two. All right, that's enough. We're gonna go ahead and start adding some detail in the face. We're gonna go with the eyes. Because he's not human, I'm gonna probably spread it out a little bit and put these lines here. And just try and match it as much as possible. Oh, let me apologize. I did say his eyes were higher on the head, didn't I? Did you catch that? Well, let me go ahead and just get rid of this really quick. Okay, so it's not a terrible mistake. All right, so I'm gonna start with his eyes again, and I'm gonna put the eyes here. Okay, so I want him to be kind of like a villain that has conquered or won some kind of, you know, battle or something like that. And so just let the eyes come in like this, and notice how simplistic I'm doing it. You know, you can follow these shapes I'm being very simplistic with this, and notice that's why I have these temple lines here, so I can know how far over I want the eyes to be in relation to one another. If you notice the distance here, so I can go ahead and get rid of that line and come over a little bit more right there. It looks like it's about right. And just let this line come up here. What these lines all do is allow you to measure without a ruler. That's all that's doing. And I'm gonna do the very best I can, and you do the same. Okay. All right, so we got the eyes dropped in really quick. And now for the nose, he almost has like just a square. And I'm gonna put it right in the center. Not like a skeleton, but just kind of make it, you know, almost like a skull, but it's my interpretation of the jack-o'-lantern, so we just have a little fun. Now his mouth I want to be wide open. And I'll show you why in a minute. So his mouth is going to come from almost like the one side of the pumpkin to the other. And of course it's jagged. So what I want to do is just put a line here and a line here. And what you want to do is just zigzag. Just have some fun. Up, down, up, down. You want to make it look like somebody carved, you know, his mouth out with a knife. And, you know, you just play around with it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Mine's, trust me, is not going to be perfect. I'm just playing around with this idea. And then you can elongate it here, have the mouth open. I wanted him to look like he was laughing, like he has a victory. He's won something, or, you know, maybe he's freaking some kids out. I don't know. And you want the bottom to kind of match the top as much as possible. And it's okay. Don't be hard on yourself. And then just come around and do the same thing over here. All right, so now we got the face. Now we can go ahead on and put some of the other details in where I don't want to humanize and, you know, the pumpkin or the jack-o'-lantern look too much. So what I want to do is just kind of follow a pumpkin feel. And then come on over here. And, you know, just try and do simple shapes. Like for the middle of the top of his head, if you notice, just have a hump there. That's why the dividing lines are there. And then you'll have the rest come around like so. And do the same thing for the bottom. The bottom is kind of going to have that same feel. You want to connect this line. What I'm doing here, if you notice, you can count it if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's about 9, or, you know, 4 on either side. 8 or 9. And then you want to continue this around to make it look like a pumpkin. His head shape. So this is my, again, interpretation of a jack-o'-lantern. So if you go anywhere and look and say, well, his jack-o'-lantern don't look exactly like this, well, I want it to be different from any other jack-o'-lantern you ever seen. All right, and so let me go ahead on, and I want to put the top of the pumpkin shape in. And what I'll do is you want to come up here and just kind of bring a stem out and bring it over like this, and then drop it in like that. Excuse me there, it got a little clumsy. And then you can put a little twist in it. And the way you do that is just play around with your line weight and just kind of thicken it up and wrap it around like that. And let it twist all the way around. And hopefully you're having fun so far. So far, this is a fun exercise to play around with it. This jack-o'-lantern. And what I want to do is I actually do want to have the inside lit. So you can just come in here like so and kind of repeat this right here, the brow part. And then his mouth, I actually would like to put a candle in here. It's just to set it apart. I don't know if it's out there or not, but I just want to play around with something a little different. And because we're looking up at the jack-o'-lantern, we're going to go ahead on and just add this part here. It shouldn't be too difficult. I want to give it a 3-dimensionality to it. And just play around with that without going too crazy. I don't want. It's not detailed, but I want to add some kind of realism to the jack-o'-lantern look. And so it looks like a carved pumpkin that's alive. All right. Now, as far as the candle goes, I just kind of want to let it come up just a little bit so you can see it. I want it to kind of look like a tongue. And then have the wax dripping down a little bit. And at this point, there's no real shape to it. However you do it is fine. And you want to put a little stem there and then have the flame going up into his mouth. And then on the inside, you want to kind of have some light lines going on as if you could see the inside of the pumpkin or his head through his mouth. All right, now for his neck, you're not going to really see his neck because he has like almost like a scarecrow look. I'm gonna just kind of go a little bit just for learning how to draw simplicity. You can kind of come in here and kind of get like a Grinch that stole Christmas look. And just go a little crazy. It's not neat, so whatever he's wearing, he's not a regular person. It's not like he's gonna be concerned about how what he's wearing looks. And then we want to come on in here and add some shape to what he's wearing. And I want it to look like he has some clothes on and with some flexion folds here, because you know, if you notice how I whipped on around here, you can just come on around the shape. That's why these cylinders are here, and just kind of give a little bit of realism to it. And then have it kind of come over here and then go across like this, because it's almost like he's wearing a robe. So, and then you can just come on off the page. The jack-o'-lantern is not super detailed, so you can kind of have fun. Right here is going to be some gravity folds, almost like a drapery look, like you know, draperies hanging from the window. And then you're going to come down underneath for his elbow. And then this right here is going to come down a little bit, just like that. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Just let it drape down. And around his elbow area, if you notice, I got a lot of wrinkles and folds, because when someone's wearing something, you know, it behaves a certain way. So you want to kind of have it look like that. So you start, we getting there. And then we're gonna do the same thing for this side. Have those flexion folds coming in and have it come across like this. And then bend around the elbow. These circles are here to help you see what's going on, like so. And then off of this, you want to draw off that wrist area and have that drape down and have this sag like this. And make his clothes look a little rent to a certain extent. Okay. Last thing we got to do is his hands. Now for his hands, like again, I said they are kind of like tree branches, so I'm gonna kind of go for that look. And when you're drawing this is the part where you can kind of be creative and have fun, because it doesn't really matter, because tree branches are abstract. They don't have to look like 100% like a human form. I'll get it as close as I can, but I'm going to play around and make it look more tree-like. And put some circles here, shapes here, make it look like he's really got branches for fingers. I'm going to bring this around, and they don't have to bend any particular correct way, because they don't have bones. And of themselves, they behave, tree branches behave a certain way when they grow. So I'm going for a little bit of that. And notice I have 4 fingers instead of 5. Again, stressing the fact that he's not a human being. So Alright, so I wanted to look creepy. I think that came out good. What do you guys think? And once I do the right hand, that will complete the drawing. And then what I'll do is, as I always do, I'll clean it up and everything like that for you, so it looks nice and neat. It just will not be inked and all the other things as before, because as I said before, when I finish this drawing, I want to showcase more of my pencils. I feel as though I have enough covers that has full graphics, like a comic book illustrator. But moving forward, to follow the name of the channel, I kind of want to follow the tradition of pencils on the covers a little more. I don't think almost any covers, except for a few that may have some ink or black and white. So just to start it off right, any drawing I do from now on will have, you know, black and white drawings on it, as mentioned in the beginning. And notice with the knuckles, I'm being deliberate with putting circles on it, because I do want to make it almost bone-like but like in tree form. Let me move over so you can see what's going on with, if you want to catch up with everything else. And then just have some lines come around here. And notice what I'm doing. I'm just taking lines and swooping over. I'm wrapping it around the form. That's all really the way branches and trees behave. All right, so that's going to complete this portion of it. I'm going to let it sit so you can look at it, and I'm going to clean it up and erase all of the dirty lines and make the drawing look all nice and nice for you. And that completes this drawing.
Thanks for hanging out with me if you have survived this step-by-step tutorial. I hope you learned something from this video. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Until my next video, keep practicing, don't give up, and remain positive.
Hey, do me a favor. Give this video a like and subscribe if you want to live.